Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett. And along us again is producer Wesley. Yes, that's right. Still no Chris. That's okay.
2 weeks down and no Christopher. So that's too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun episode.
Yeah, I think so. A little interaction with our listeners out there.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
And our fans.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get a little bit more feedback, but maybe we do something like this again. You know,
Absolutely.
Maybe closer to the end of the season 4.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Maybe recycle back to this at the end.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it'd be kind of nice to do. See how much we grow and develop, and same with all our fans.
Absolutely.
But we're drinking beers.
We are
drinking beers.
Oh, what? Okay. Yes,
I'm just going to start cracking beers.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
I like the smell of this one.
Ooh. That's it. Okay.
I like the smell of this one. Do you want to talk about the beer first?
Yeah, I'm just going to finish my pour here, and then I'm kind of getting into why we're having this beer. And
Brett, why don't you tell us what the beer is, and then I'll give a brief description of said beer. How about that?
So this beer is brought to you by one of our...
you want to do that? I was just going to say, just tell us the title of the beer first. Then we'll get in the story.
Okay.
Yeah, slow down there.
So this beer is from Southern Tier Brewing. Obviously, there's multiple locations throughout the States. And this one is the Double Juice Jolt, the extra juicy double IPA.
All right.
Okay. Do you want to tell us about the beer itself?
I do. So it says bold fruit juice flavor. The description of it is it's a double IPA. It's dialed to the max with its 9.5% ABV on top of its easy drinking flavor and massively juicy punch. Brewed with Mosaic, Citra, Idaho 7, Simcoe, HBC 630, Amarillo, and CTZ hops, as well as Turo Pale malt
Okay,
and
perfect.
oats.
And we have been to Southern Tier. We have obviously
We've been to a Southern Tier.
I've been to a Southern Tier in Pittsburgh for your bachelor party.
But not this Southern Tier.
Not this Southern Tier. This one came from Lakewood, New York. So let's just say a connoisseur listening to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.
A fan of the pod.
Swarty the Entertainer. Okay. And he is from St. Mary, so it's kind of how we kind of tie this in. He's been, asking for a little bit to, hey, how can I help the podcast, if you will?
Your best friend.
And then I always say, listen to it. And then...
yeah, and that's one thing. Listening. And the other way of helping with the pod, this is a good kind of plug for us here, is reviews. Reviews and ratings on whatever kind of platform you do, because it does help us in the algorithm, boosts us up, puts us into the search engine optimization. So if you're looking to help out, we would love a 5 out of 5 on whatever platform. Thanks for the plug. Back to you,
yes, thank
Brett.
you. So Swarty the Entertainer, also known as Chris, we've been back
Chris,
and forth.
best friend.
Yeah,
whatever
you want to put out there. Yes. We have a mutual friend together as I work with his best friend, Brian Normal. Good job. Anyway, so Swarty's been trying to kind of get on the podcast for a little bit. It's like, hey, I bought this 4-pack, bought the 4-pack for you guys to have. And I was like, you know what? Sure. So I swung by and picked them up. And he's like, he wants us to know, is this an IPA or not? He thinks this is not an IPA. Okay. He thinks it tastes like orange pop, an alcoholic orange pop.
Okay. Doesn't mean it's not an IPA?
It does not mean that, right? So what his first question was, do we think this is going to be an IPA? So we did kind of a ask me anything on Instagram, or ask us anything, not just specifically me. Yeah. So what we're going to do, right?
Ask Brett Pfeiffer anything you want.
Ask Jeeves.
Yeah.
No. What we're going to do is we're going to drink this beer and kind of go through the certain questions that have been asked to us, and then recycle back at the end to really determine if this is an IPA or not.
Yeah, so we'll go through some of the other things that people have asked us while we.
And I will say before we get onto that, producer Wesley has put it in front of us in terms of the Untapped ratings.
Yeah. You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Cool.
So there has been.
I'm going to start drinking.
I don't know how to operate
I don't really care.
This cellular phone. What is this?
He's got like 14 screen protectors on there.
I know, right? Like, goodness, my fingers are not good for this.
Well, I've heard his fingers aren't either.
So there is over 3,200 check-ins on this with an average rating of 3.59 out of 5. Now, there's been a few 5s. Okay, I believe the grand total is 101 of them. So 101 of these people think that this is a double IPA. Can-wise, 2,908 ratings at a 3.64, draft at 3.76 with 78 ratings, and a taster at 3.75. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
okay.
I'm thinking maybe you just want a taster of this and not the full thing, but we'll get into this. So, the first question, again, as we said, is do you think this is an IPA? So we're going to kind of sit through this throughout, kind of let it marinate for a little bit, and kind of get into the other questions that our listeners have asked.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tyler, I need to drink this beer, so you want to have the first one.
All right.
Because this is more so where you like this fact. You like talking about these people.
I love our fans.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I think
you're saying you don't love our fans?
The first, of course, I do.
You don't love our fans?
Of course, I do.
We love our fans.
Yes.
Just drink the beer.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take a look. Take a look over at you, Willie, too. This beer does have a really good smell to it. Yeah. All right. The first one, Andrew Gilbert. Thank you for being a fan of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. The question is, who are these producers and how are they chosen? It's a great question. So, when we talked about research and development of the podcast way back when, this was early time, we said to ourselves, well, as we discussed on the podcast, there was a presentation, maybe a PowerPoint that was put together. And some ideas came up with just kind of the core hosts. And we had some friends who couldn't, commit to the host role.
Time was an issue, yes.
And because that was the case, we said, you know what we can maybe do is transition this into maybe a producer role. So you might not be able to kind of commit to it. And one thing led to another. So like most things, it started out very small where we had a small group of friends that just could commit to being some producers. So we all play on different ball teams. So we had, I don't know, like almost 30 or 30 plus. Yep. So we basically had all of season 1 and then some kind of already kind of committed to being producers for the podcast. After that, once it kind of opened up and we got a little bit more traction with the podcast, which we've talked about in previous episodes.
And also like the world opening up.
Yeah.
As well, that helped
for sure. We started making connections with different individuals. And that's kind of when, people would reach out to us about being producers and we would have them on the pod. So it's been one of those things that it's just kind of happened organically. As most things kind of have for the podcast. Because when we first started this, we said, it's going to be small time. We got a little bit bigger than small time. Mm-hmm. Again, thanks in part to all the listeners and fans out there. So how are they chosen? We basically go ahead and we just see about availability. And we schedule based off of availability. And then it's got to be a right fit, right? And so...
it's a strong interview process for it, for sure.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes there is. Sometimes there's just some general questions that get asked. But we want to make sure that, sometimes we like to make fun of them and lean heavy into that. And so they got to be able to take a joke. And if not, you're already done.
And sometimes you can definitely tell which producers are more present than others.
Oh, yeah.
There's some of them that don't even feel like they're here.
That has happened before.
Yep,
we've actually had to do a couple remote producers too.
Yes.
But that again is kind of accommodating because some of them aren't even in the province. Mm-hmm. So we have that. Now we do have a large number that over 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. So basically 4 years almost, right? A little bit less than that right now. That are all around their same age group.
Yes.
And so our age group, there's kids that are being born.
Yep.
There's weddings that are happening.
Yes.
There's bachelor parties, bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
And so this all provides us wonderful content because we're at a stage in our life that it's been difficult sometimes to schedule a podcast and the recording, but this is the one thing that we can kind of all come back to as kind of like a safe space for us to just drink beer, have good conversations, and put out some good quality content to everybody that's listening.
And then make sure we get the invites to the weddings and bachelor parties and etc.
Absolutely, because it's all content. And so that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, I know
we might live stream a wedding this year too. Might.
We've said that before.
Yeah, we probably won't.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think the bride would like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. But so I know it's kind of like a roundabout answer of how we get it, but we enjoy... I'm going to say about 78% of the producers that we've had on the podcast.
That's a fair number, yeah.
That's good.
All right. So next question comes from...
Here's the thing.
Okay, go.
As we're talking about that, Wesley's, giving us, hey, move on to the next question. He's not falling at 78%.
Yeah.
Simple.
Accurate.
Doing his job, though. And that's what we like.
No. So next question comes from Matt McIver, who we've kind of talked back and forth with a bit about different things. So is it just me, or is Cerveza the beer trend of the summer? And who makes the best... I'm going to say Cerveza.
Brava. Obviously, it's the beer of summer. Is that how that works?
I am so happy that I got my father-in-law off of,
I was going to say, is that not how that works?
Actually, I got him on craft beer now, though.
Okay.
Yeah, big checkmate from Grey Matter guy.
All right.
Yeah, buys a 2-4 pack. Nice. And some shindigs, too.
Yeah, shindigs are good.
Shindigs,
right?
So,
you know what you're getting there.
Anyway, if we're talking just in the straight cerveza category, honestly, like Cowbell makes a really nice kind of Mexican lager. And obviously with Cowbell stuff, you can find it anywhere. I'm not a huge Corona guy.
Really?
No, not a huge Corona guy.
Okay.
Both the virus and the beer. So
good.
Yeah, I think to me, honestly, like I know Amsterdam has a cerveza. There's a couple other breweries that have different kind of cervezas out there. But if you're looking for a staple that's easy enough that you can find, I would probably recommend the Cowbell cerveza.
Yeah, so let's go back to the original question, though, right? The first part. Is it just me, or is it cerveza, the beer trend of the summer? I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, we've seen some cervezas kind of crop up this year, but it might be a little bit more local because I haven't seen a whole lot. I think that there's still a bit of confusion of what's kind of going on this year because there hasn't been anything that's really dominated, right?
It's been a strange year in terms of, middle of August here.
Yeah.
Where, a couple years ago it was the dank hazy juice bombs.
Yeah. And
then you had the smoothie slash slushy sours, right? But there hasn't really been a thing this year that's kind of taken over the market, if you will, right?
No, and I think we're falling into now that there's kind of been like a predetermined cycle of what you're expecting, right? You're going to get some more sours around here. But I think that there are some decent cervezas out there. I know Anderson had one as well a little while ago, right? Their margarita cerveza. So you know what you're expecting with that, right?
For sure.
And again, so it's a Mexican lager, but you're going to get a little bit of saltiness to it. So it's a good kind of flavor there. Rorschach also had one too. The Reminiscence was a Mexican lager.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, again, I don't know if it's kind of like the summer of cerveza. I feel like the market is still trying to figure itself out in terms of promotion of that.
I think so. And 2023 hasn't really been a year of like, this is the beer.
Yeah.
Right?
I think things are opening up again.
Yep.
And everybody's just happy to get out there and do some stuff. But what I'd be interested in is, Matt, what kind of cervezas have you had? If you can just DM us or whatever you like. But it'd be good to see what kind of cervezas you've had. That'd be great.
Yes. Producer Wesley, or just chiming in here, doesn't mind the Cabo Cerveza. And he's only had 9. Again, his phone is really hard to handle here.
I don't know how. I don't know why. There's more protection on that phone than I think insurance policies I have in my own life.
Right? Like, oh my goodness. So besides the Modelos as well, kind of forgot about those. Did have the, I don't know where this is from. Oh, it's a couple years ago. The Chihuahua Mexican lager. I said that wrong. And then the Yoquero Mexican lager with lime from Black Lab last year. Interesting. Good to go through your list of beers that you've had. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I said the dog name wrong there, but that's fine.
That's okay.
It is what it is.
All right. We've got one anonymous one.
Yes.
Brought in here. Mm-hmm. Any breweries you are going to collab with / want to?
That's a good question. Loaded question, really. Right?
Could be.
Hoping, obviously, with some more connections that we've kind of made. Obviously, we did do the job site one last year, which we still have a couple of them left, and I almost feel like it's gotten better over time. I don't know if you've had any. I think so. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have had any lately.
Yeah, I had one not too long ago. I thought it was,
and it's gotten better. I think it's sitting on that sourness. It's definitely maybe kind of gone up from that 3.75 to 4 range kind of deal.
Yeah, it's doing well. The raspberry.
Yeah, it sits there and holds nicely.
So, are there any breweries that you would like to collab with?
If you wanted to dream big, right? You could always do a Blood Brothers Third Moon kind of deal.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I know, right? That's just even Bellwoods, Rorschach.
That's like going and saying, "Hey, for YouTube, you want to collab with Mr. Beast?"
Yeah, exactly.
Is that?
I think a left field / our ball team beer would be mint.
I think so. That would be
awesome.
Be sick. Yeah.
But anyway, if we're thinking more on a reasonable scale, even a Broken Rail, right? We do have connections there. Even Black Swan, we could probably do if we need to. Shakespeare. You're going to probably be seeing some new breweries that we're going to have in season 4 here that we've made some connections with that maybe before the end of the year, have something come out too, right? So, and again, it does come down to, no offense, but this is not our full-time job, people. Like, we all have jobs, we all have lives, we all have different things that come out. So trying to get the four of us in at a time to do something
as much as possible.
As much as possible, it can be a struggle.
Sure.
So it's a lot of scheduling has to happen with it to make it work. And if we're at least getting enough notice, we can definitely make it work.
So one thing, or one brewery that I would like to, and we've kind of had some kind of conversation at some point, and I'd like to circle back to it, is Imperial City.
Yes. Yes.
So we might have to reach out to them because
I just need to actually go there. So
yeah,
that too.
Yeah. We did talk to them in the last part of season 3, and again, we had them in season 1. Had a really good. It was a strawberry milkshake, right? And it was phenomenal.
Oh, just regular milkshake IPA. There was the.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah,
oh,
just
it was.
a regular milkshake IPA.
That's right.
Regular milkshake IPA, and then they had
I was thinking of
cream
Collingwood. Yeah, that's what it was.
And we had
a lot of milkshake.
Yes, we did.
That was the year of milkshake IPAs.
Yes, it was actually.
Going back to the Cerveza, but
you're not wrong there.
Yeah, and it was a really good milkshake IPA.
And then their cream ale too, with Chris Hadfield on the cover.
Yep.
One of the best can arts you could see for sure.
And cream ales.
Yes, and cream ales for sure. 100%.
Yeah, so I'd like to do something with them. I do have an idea in the back of my head if anybody wants to do like an English kind of bitter beer.
I know we've been talking about that.
Would be kind of nice. So if anybody wants to do something like that with us, and that fits kind of into their like brewing style, I would love to do that. And I got a name. I've got like a beer ready to go.
And there's obviously, we had a couple kind of things in the hopper, if you will. And unfortunately, those people have moved on, and B, unfortunately, this place is also closed too. So
yeah,
it does happen. But yeah, I'm hoping by the end of season 4 we can get another 1 or 2 of them out there.
Yeah, I would love to do it. It's a great experience, and it's a good opportunity for some of our fans to connect with not only us but with the brewery and really support the brewery. So it's good promotion all around.
Shall we move on?
I would love to move on.
Do you want to do this one, or do you want me to do this one?
You do this one.
Ah, probably good. So next one comes from her name is Rachel Cannon.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
I do know her. I know that. I know that person.
This is good for our demographics.
Exactly. Right?
We touch. We touch everybody. We touch them all, Joe. You're never going to hit a bigger home run.
So, do you think beer is an acquired taste? Why or why not? So I'll take the lead on this one.
You lead.
Yeah. So I think beer.
Wesley's not chiming in on any of these.
No, he's not.
I like that. Yeah. Sit back and relax.
I think the versions of beer is an acquired taste. Okay. So for example, having like a, Coors Light, Bud Light, whatever, like a domestic beer. Okay. That's beer, right? I think the acquired taste. That's
beer, baby.
Yeah. I think the acquired taste gets into it when you're talking about, this thing that we're having right here. Or, a milkshake.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah. A milkshake IPA.
Sure.
A stout. That's where the acquired taste really comes in. I think anybody, as long as they can have the ingredients that are in beer, because obviously not everybody can have beer itself.
Nope.
Beer is kind of just there. The acquired taste is when you get into the more, robust and stuff that, has a little more oomph behind it, right? Whether it be, even, blonde ales, anything like that, that's just not your basic domestics.
Right. No, for sure.
A little bit watered down, if you will.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that for the most part. I think beer is an acquired taste. I myself didn't really enjoy beer growing up, and we kind of all talked about this, and some of the past producers did as well, about like it took us a bit to kind of get into especially craft beer, right? So like, you're staying away from like your normal kind of like lagers and all that. So yeah, it is an acquired taste. I think you will find kind of like a little niche area that you enjoy a little bit more so, for which we've talked about, whether it's the IPAs, if it's the Hefeweizens, if it's the stouts, if it's the sours. Now, one thing I do know, because we like to, understand who our fans are. So I went through and saw Rachel's social media. And Rachel, by the looks of it, has got a bit more of a leniency towards the sours, and might have kind of been away from some of the other beers.
I also think ciders, too.
Sours and ciders.
Yeah, sours and ciders, right?
Yeah. So some of those beers I've seen on her social media. Now, whether or not that actually means that they don't like everything else, tough to say. But kudos to you. I'm a big sour fan as well.
Yes.
Now, we've got I don't know.
Also,
Wesley type something here.
I did see. I don't think I'm going to go with what Wesley.
No,
typed,
please do.
No, I'm not.
I will, man.
Okay, I was just going to say, she's a fan of the podcast. I just saw that she had a bachelorette party in Boston.
Boston. Yeah.
Big fan of Fenway.
Yes.
Big old Fenway girl.
Yeah. Not only a big fan of Fenway, but Wesley types in here, big Spice Girl, which could mean a lot of different things. And we're just going to let that simmer.
Yeah.
We'll let that simmer.
I was going to go some Spice Girl lyrics here.
You're fine.
Okay.
No, we're gonna let that simmer there. We got the next one here.
Okay. We'll let that simmer. That's fine.
And you know who this one's from? Friend of the podcast.
Yeah, it's from
been on the podcast before.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Trevor Wilhelm.
Why did we allow this? For him to be on the podcast and be this question.
I think this is great. Bring some levity to it. So Trevor says, what would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for a Klondike bar? And this was a big thing. This was like mid-2000s, the Klondike bar kind of craze, right?
Yes, correct. What would I do for a Klondike bar? Probably absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Or if I had to do something, it would probably be spend the advertised retail price.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I did.
Also, if it involved never having... No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to say that. Because he's a big supporter. And
Trevor on the podcast.
He's given us some beers before. And, there's obviously some beers sitting here because we'll disclose a little bit. Trevor does play on our ball team. Not Wesley's.
No,
but myself and Tyler's. And let's provide a few beers.
I have won a Klondike bar before with the "What would you do from a Klondike bar" at a Jays game. So I danced like an idiot. But mind you, I was like 10 years old. So
fun fact: I did win. Remember when the chocolate milks had the mooing in it?
Yeah,
I won one of those ones.
Yeah, but we're talking about Klondike bars. I think we've talked about the chocolate.
I just want to say something I won.
I think we've talked about that.
Also,
you won. You got a beautiful wife. You've won.
This is very accurate. I have definitely won in that regard.
You most certainly have.
Yes. No, I married up. She married down. We know this. Anyway, I will say that I'm really hoping to win. I've entered some raffles in the last couple months. I'm really hoping to win stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a beer for years, some Jays tickets in there.
I have not entered any raffles.
Yeah, I know you're against the raffles.
Just the illegal ones.
Yeah. As long as they had the license around it, though, they'd be good to go.
Would have been fine.
Yeah. But Klondike Stouts? I can see it.
I was still talking about what I would do for... Okay.
No. Right. I'm kidding. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Yeah, I would do... I'd do nothing, really, beyond just making a fool of myself. Because, you know what? Sometimes the best medicine is to laugh at yourself. And if I get a Klondike bar, why not?
That's half the reason why I do this podcast, is just to laugh at myself when I listen back.
Yeah, and that's why we have fans. Because they're sitting there laughing along with us.
Also, we're to the point now, because we're in season 4, and this might be just a side gig here, but when you see beers at the LCBO or like online or whatever, and you're like, okay, yeah, I haven't had that before. And then you cycle back and you're like, we had that on season 2.
Yeah. It is kind of cool.
I didn't know that. Okay.
It is kind of cool, though, to be like, we've had these beers on the podcast.
I've had this before.
It's pretty sweet. Klondike Stout would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
But I mean, that's like any kind of stout. Like you just do like a chocolate vanilla kind of stout, right?
Like a chocolate, like even just an ice cream stout, things like that. Lactose, you'd be fine.
All right, we'll cut it there. We'll cut it short a little bit. We might do the ask us anything, but we don't have time for. Let's just say we got like 3 or 4 more questions.
He's got to get going apparently. Well, he's got to get to Broken Rail.
Yeah, we'll scrap those. We'll circle back at some point.
Yes. But we do have to, speaking of circle back, we do have to circle back to the first question that was brought to us in terms of this.
We most certainly do.
Beer that Sorty was ever so gracious to provide for us, and I was ever so gracious to pick up. And there's a video of me picking it up actually.
Do we want to do? Let's do rating first, and then answer the question. How about that?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. Yeah, so this definitely leaves a taste in your mouth. Will I say a good taste in your mouth? No, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I mean, when it says bold fruit juice flavor, you're definitely getting that. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 2.5.
Okay. So we said it's overall 3.59, 9.5%. I think with me is that 9.5 is really punching. It's a heavy 9.5.
She's kicking you in the mouth for sure.
Yeah. And if that would have kind of like smoothed itself out a bit, it would actually be a pretty good beer. but it is just punching us right in the face.
It's that tangerine fruit juice flavor that's really throwing me off.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the
that's
juice.
what I'm throwing off there.
I'm okay with the juice flavor, but it's because it's the alcohol punch, and then it almost
he made a sound. Wesley made a sound.
It was almost like the slap in season 1, episode 2.
This beer does not slap. Let me tell you that right now.
It punches.
It gives you a punch.
And I'll be honest, the Southern Tier that we visited, beautiful spot.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And great beer. So there's no disrespect to Southern Tier. I'm gonna give it a 2.75. It does have some decent flavor to it. The smell of it is well done. It does have that juiciness to it. It's just, again, like I'm overpowered by the alcohol taste, which really kind of just brings me down.
It's the alcohol taste mixed with that high-end tangerine.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just,
and I think obviously you can see that in the ratings.
Yeah, it's just that punch.
Yeah.
Wesley, 2.0.
2.0. So obviously I think Wesley's more so in my territory.
Yeah,
versus
that's cute. You guys should go to... Yeah, I don't know.
Probably should go to Broken Rail together sometime. Yeah. Right? I think that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
So it's a 2.3 repeater.
Yeah.
Which is going to round up to 2.5?
No, I think you're on that down to 2.25.
I would think so.
Yeah, I think math would check out there. Is that you round that down?
Way to go, Wesley.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go to university for math.
2.25, not 25.
Yeah,
you got this.
There you go.
There it is.
So I think we have to answer this question before
maybe that 9.5 is kicking in.
Yeah, maybe.
Wesley, you're staying for about 4 or 5 hours, all right, buddy? You're hanging out.
Sign off here is it an IPA?
Is it an IPA?
What do you think?
I think that this is a very interesting beer.
That's putting it nicely. Oh wow, there you go. That 9.5% is hitting you.
Yeah, just
so is your microphone.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I see it as it's unique. I don't know exactly where to kind of put it. Is it an IPA? It's not a traditional kind of IPA itself. It is listed as a double IPA, and it's an Imperial double IPA because it sits at 9.5. I would fit it there, and the reason why is because where else would I put this? It's not a lager. I look at the ingredients to it. It speaks IPA. The Imperial, obviously, because of the 9.5%. I think that this is the best category that I can come up with for it to be placed. That's my justification for why, yes, this is a double IPA.
Right. So I'm going to go with Wesley's comments here before I go with mine. And he says tastes more like a sour than an IPA. The ABV would say double IPA, but could we say Imperial Sour?
It's not a sour,
though.
Yeah,
it's not a sour.
Like for me, it's not. Like they're like even looking. I see the hops in it. I don't see. Yeah. I don't see it that way. It's not treated like a sour, eh? Yeah. Like even the way it's made, you can tell. Like it's not a kettle. It's like it's
no.
It's tough because, and I think that, and Wesley, correct me if I'm wrong, is maybe just because the juiciness of it is kind of, you would almost want to put it that way. If they soured this, I think it would almost be better.
Yep. No, I do agree with you there.
Like a tangerine sour.
Yeah. So looking at it again and being the 2 times juice jolt, being an extra juicy double IPA, I think, in my opinion, the extra juicy is taking over this way too much. Like, I do think it's a double IPA. I think we're sitting there.
You're on the IPA train.
I'm on the IPA train for sure. I just think, in terms of the extra juicy, there's way too much juice in there. That's what I'm tasting more of the juice than I'm tasting the actual WIPA itself.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like even if they upped it a bit percentage wise, I think this would almost be a good candy triple IPA.
Yeah.
Like if they get this into the 10.5, 11 range, you could candy like that candy would be good. You know those old like old grandparents usually have this. It's like the orange.
Most
candies.
Grandparents are usually old, but yeah, you're right.
Well, not some of them, but like I mean, it depends on. Mine are in the 90s, but I'm just saying. I actually think Wesley, go to the bottom drawer over there. Go to the bottom drawer there. Yeah, that drawer there. Open that up. Pull some of the yeah. Throw get that.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
Okay, now I know what you're
Suck
saying.
on one of those candies and tell me that doesn't taste the same.
I'll say. Oh.
Yeah, we'll yeah. Throw it over.
Okay.
Thanks, appreciate you. Suck on one of these guys. It's the hard candy. I think I got the lemon.
I also got a lemon.
He's got the orange. Of course.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Maybe we should probably got tangerine out of this. But
yeah, give him a tangerine one. Anyways, suck on that.
Well,
and I feel like that's okay. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Try that one. So you can take that one for the road. Let me know.
Yeah, we'll do.
So yeah, what I'd like to know.
What I'm and once we get there, hopefully
it's okay. I've had them before.
Hopefully, Chris can tell us his opinions as well. Because I'm actually really interested to see what he would say with us.
Wesley, does that taste like it though? Yeah, right. Like
no, I get what you're saying.
I feel like that could be the triple IPA if you just up the alcohol on it. And
I'd be interested to see what the regular juice jolt tasted like too.
Yeah.
So
what I would like to know, because I don't think Swarty alluded to this, but what was Swarty's opinions?
So Swarty's opinion was he did not think it was an IPA at all.
But he didn't tell us what he thought it would be.
Well, he told me.
Did he?
Yeah, he did actually.
Like what kind of beer it would be?
So it calls itself a juicy IPA, but it literally tastes like an orange pop.
Okay,
nothing IPA about it.
But I'd like to know what kind of beer style.
So he said yes, just 2 times the juice. So I asked him. He's like, it must be just more like a bold fruit juice flavor. He's like, yes, 2 times juice.
So Swarty, get back to us.
2 times. Yeah, I agree.
Read the can. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
But
he didn't say what style.
No.
So I would say, Swarty, I'll put this back on you. What style of beer would it be if it isn't an IPA? And that's where the hang-up is.
And I think you will definitely see a comment on our Instagram post. Might even do a podcast from South because he has a podcast from South.
Oh yeah, do it. Hey,
right.
put it on your TikToks, 40.
Yeah, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram, the Facebook.
What do you think? What kind of style?
The MySpace.
What is it?
MSN Messenger. Whatever you want to do. Anyway.
What kind of style do you think it is?
All right, let's wrap it up.
We should wrap it up. So that is going to be it for today's producer special. Thanks again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode. And on our off Thursdays for the unique producer specials, much like this one, the first one of season 4.
Absolutely. And there's more coming, don't you worry. Remember, drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive.
So from all of us, Chris, who couldn't make it, producer Wesley, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett.
And together, we're all the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.